Stop! I know that you're struggling on P5, and I'll help you get through. Hi, I am Moss, and here are tips for all Pantheon bosses. Starting with Vengeful King, all you gotta do is pogo off and Vengeful Spirit to its direction after you pogo. For Gru's Mother, try to land attacks every time it hits the ground with its floor slamming attacks, and be mindful of its platforms. Steady body helps. Paul's Knight is pretty straightforward. You can Dreammail its armor repeatedly to get soul after he dies, so use that to your advantage, and top up on your soul. For the Big Bush guy, you can use Heavy Blow to cheese with the knockback, or just pogo off him when he charges at you. Pretty simple fight, don't you think? For the Hornet fight, try to hit once or twice between every dive attack, and be cautious as almost any noise she makes is a telegraph for an upcoming move or attack. Don't forget to make use of her stagger. For Gorb, you can just up-slash between his attacks, first and second phase, and just spell him for his third and most annoying phase. Vengeful Spirits may hit twice. When Dung Defender hops around in his ball form, try to up-slash to keep him off ground as much as possible. He can't attack you if you keep doing this. Soul Warrior likes to walk a little between attacks, so get some hits in when he does that. Also try to jump to avoid most attacks instead of dashing to get more hits in. When fighting Brooding Moloch, get 2 hits between its swipes, and when it shoots up, get as much damage in as possible and Shade Cloak in him last second. For the brothers, their normal swipe attack is a bit hard to figure out, so be careful. Also, in their second phase, the one who doesn't attack is always vulnerable, and you can get some hits in as much as you want. And after all that, we need to get some rest. And now we are ready. On Zero, similar to Gorb, you can up-slash him until the second phase, and then Vengeful Spirit, as they are likely to hit twice. Crystal Guardian may seem chaotic, but all you need to do is Shade Cloak when he is aiming at you, and dodging lasers that come from the ceiling. Soul Master is an evasive boss that gives you a fair amount of window to hit between attacks. On his second phase, rather than waiting for him to dive, dash right before he appears, so it's easier to dodge that way. Oblobbles are kind of annoying, so I would recommend you Mark of Pride to hit them from afar. And taking one out as soon as possible is usually viable, as you are going to only focus on one's projectiles even if they are faster. Mantis Lords are fairly simple. You can jump between dashing attacks and get more hits in, and try hitting them when they're on the walls, waiting for their projectile back. All you have to do while fighting Marmo is hit her in the direction she is coming at you. That is it. Nothing more to it. God, I hate janky physics bosses in games. Nosk loves contact damage, so when it's dashing, you can hide under platforms and up-slash. If that is not available, try to pogo off it when he runs at you, and be careful of its projectiles. Oh, and when he stops in the middle, I don't really know what you can do. Just pogo off her until it dies, and be careful of her minions. Probably the most forgettable boss in the game. For Broken Vessel, using Shade Cloak well is key in this fight, to dash through its attacks. Try to use Shade Soul when it's away and it will likely hit twice. Also, don't forget to abuse his stagger animation to either heal or go for a descending dark. Paintmaster Shio has a couple color-based attacks. Orange can be dodged by jumping and dashing to him. Blue attack you gotta react fast. Red one you should say away and dash to it when it ends. Pink is when he hits the ground, dash to him and get a few hits in. High Knight is a lot of him just standing still and telegraphing his attacks. He'll just dash, jump, and abuse the nail hopping attack as he stands still during it. And also he has a stagger animation. Elder Hu is very simple. All you do is move around and dodge his falling projectiles, either with Shade Cloak or just walking, and use Shade Cloak for the closing and projectile attack. The Collector jumps around a lot. You can chase it and try to get hits in, while paying attention to his jumping attack. He also has a stagger animation. Don't forget to get a lot of soul from all those one-shot mobs he drops in. For God Tamer, you should always focus on the beast rather than the tamer. When it's throwing projectiles, you keep pogoing on it, and when it's rolling, just run away and go into the opposite direction as it's landing. True Master Grim gives you a very short time period, leaving a window for only 1 or 2 hits mostly. Try utilizing Shade Claw actively at this fight, as he is diving and dashing attack, his dashing and exploding flames attack, and you can use it on his dragon summoning attack on the summons. The spike attack is a very good time for a good 1 or 2 heals. Galleon is an awkward one to explain. His scythe is an accelerating object, pulling itself towards you. Use its speed against it and make windows to attack him. Probably not a good fight to try to heal. Grey Prince Zote is a lot of jumping. For his shockwaves attack you jump or dash, sword swinging you pogo off him or his sword, and try not to get caught off guard by him running at you. His minion summoning attack is the best time to heal in this fight, and also Umu is a really annoying boss where you have to jump and dash away from those electric attacks, and when the jellyfishes come out, trying to use that wonky accelerating projectile to hit Umu without getting hit yourself somehow. I still haven't quite figured it out. Now for our second and tougher Hornet fight, we have a much quicker Hornet, and her new attacks are summoning spike traps and her parry, which you either shouldn't hit her when she's on it, or if you do you have to Shade Cloak to get out of the attack space. Traps can be destroyed by just hitting once, and be careful as she doesn't hold back on summoning more, so you don't want your movement limited. Great Nail Sage Sly is a difficult boss with wide hitting attacks and quick motions. The best advice I can give is to be patient and stay away when he does his combos mostly. Attacking him during his combos are dangerous. When he is Cyclone Slashing, you should wall jump until it can't reach you and drop down when it's done, and hit him twice or 3 times. You can heal 2 times safely in his stagger. On his second and easier phase, dodge to the side he's not in by walking slightly and try to hit once. Wait, you aren't supposed to be here. Get up. Enraged Guardian is almost the same as its inferior, just faster. Same tips are viable for this one. Lostkin is similar to the Broken Vessel, just missing the head shaking attack and his movements faster. Be even more careful with your dashes and careful with the minions as they make healing options scarce in this fight. And don't forget that this boss staggers multiple times in this fight. No Eyes is just platforming with unkillable enemies who move up and down. Try healing in the middle lowest platform. If that is not available, just try not to heal on this fight, as it's not really that safe. Also, be patient with your strike as the boss teleports frequently. Trader Lord is a boss that specifically tests your abilities with your Shade Cloak. How many times have I said Shade Cloak in this video again? Anyways, he has a lot of attacks that you should Shade Cloak to, so use it to the best of your ability, and instead of healing, try to keep your flow going in the fight. White Defender is just faster Dung Defender. You can't use the basketball technique as far as I know, because this one dives mid-air to prevent that. Then you should use Shade Cloak to get through the spikes that get sent to you. Be careful with his sudden slam attack, as the spikes travel fast. Pale Champion is much more difficult than its first version, with his faster movements. Try to use dash slash when he's done slamming both sides. Try getting behind him always, as that gives you room to give it a few hits. and don't forget the dream nail. Markoth is a guy that floats around randomly, has annoying shields that can go light speed, and just usually he's a bad time. My advice is to pray to the Pale King as you hope RNG sides with you. Watcher Knights are a good place to use Cyclone Slash. I recommend Cyclone Slashing when each knight gets done with whatever they are doing. Their normal slash attack you can get through with Shade Cloak, as it gives you a good 3 or 4 hits behind them if you are quick enough. Just try to be quick in this fight. Soul Tyrant is much more evasive than its inferior, to the point where it's almost impossible to hit in most attacks. Get a quick few hits in until the boss gets through the first phase, then the dashing before his dive attack is even more important, as he does it quicker in this form. Pure Vessel is a fast-paced boss fight where you have to know when to dash more than being fast, as you have to be precise with them. His triple slash you can pogo off, his circular knife throws you can just Shade Cloak, his dash you can use Shade Cloak or jump if you don't have your dash yet. His dive attack with the rising knives you can use to your advantage to hit him when he is on the animation. Farther into the fight, he gets 2 no attacks, which is summoning circles of explosions, which you need to dodge, and you can use that time to heal once. His tentacle attack can be dodged by pogoing off his head 2 or 3 times. Well, you've done it. You've explored all the Pantheons until P4. So now, what are you waiting for? We are going to explore Pantheon 5 and see what we can do with the bosses. Are you ready? We are going to look at the unique bosses that the game offers on P5, and the first one is 2 Vengefly Kings. Same rules apply. Sisters of Battle is just the same fight, but more fun. Use your skills you got from 2 Mendes Lords to use it in 3. Winged Nosk is just like Vengefly King, but has a hitbox problem. You jump, pogo, and Shade Soul again. He has a summoning similar to Vengefly King, but that's the least of your problems in this fight. Nightmare King Grim is mostly Troopmaster Grim, but faster. His dive and dash attack is changed to have a damaging aura behind, so don't Shade Cloak on that dash attack. His dash and flame explosion attack is faster, thus you should save your cloak for the falling flames. His dragon attack is changed, but easy, giving you a window after he summons them. And his last and only unique attack is summoning flame pillars, which is an attack added just for you to be able to hit this boss. And now, we have reached it. The boss that marks the end of your journey. We meet Absolute Radiance after the Pure Vessel fight in Pantheon 5, just like how it is on Hollow Knight. Absrad is very similar to Radiance, it has no unique attacks, sadly. It summons 2 waves of knives instead of 1, and the pace of the fight overall is just much quicker. From my experience, I like to call this boss Absolute Patience, since this is my best way through it. I recommend you be patient and get a few hits in when you are confident, waiting for that moment as you find the attack that you find yourself comfortable on hitting him. The first phase goes on like this. After healing yourself to full if you can before the second phase starts, you get to the second phase. It's just trying to find it on all these platforms and just chasing for a hit or 2. Since the arena is bigger, the RNG factor and the conditions are harsher. When he flies off to the final platform, you do the usual climbing with the faster lasers, and the same patience rule applies. If you try to climb too quick, you might not be quick enough to think and headbutt a laser to completely lose your flow while climbing. Slowly but surely, you make it to the third phase. And now you are just begging for this to be over. This phase only has to honing in Light Ball's attack, which are accelerating projectiles that you need to do close dodges to get rid of them. At this point, you will find this tedious and boring, yet if you dodge them well enough and get a lot of hits in, then you will come out victorious. I gave tips that I could think of about all Pantheon bosses. If you liked the video, consider subbing to help me reach out to more people. I am Moss, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!